go 11:30.
I call to order the hybrid meeting of the Lakewood Reinvestment Authority tonight, January 12th, 2026 at 6:04 p.m. To connect with the meeting online, please use one of the following links at lakewoodspeaks.org or lakewood.org/council videos. For online public comments, you may post comments of any length to lakewoodspeaks.org. That is our online online forum for public comments. That will be left open tonight and through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for any comments related to this evening's presentations. Will the clerk please start us off by calling the roll?
Chair Strom.
Here.
Commissioners Barraway.
Forum for
I'm here. We are hearing background. I'm hearing background noise.
10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
There's something else being broadcast that's coming through.
It sounds like you might be giving us some feedback. I'm going to move on. Commissioners Black.
Here.
forum for
Cruz, aye.
I think they are hearing things we
Oh,
don't
they are?
hear.
Hey, Channel 8, our Zoomers are getting feedback. Okay. Madam Chair. Yeah, we're definitely getting some feedback there. And you're not connected to audio or,
Nope.
or Zoom video, right? Okay. It should be.
No shade burning, but it's on this yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How about we back up? Let's start roll call over with Chair Strom
Here.
and Commissioners Barraway.
Here.
Cruz, aye. Or I'm sorry, Black.
Here.
And Cruz, aye.
Here.
Cruz, K.
Here.
Furman.
Here.
Kenworthy.
Here.
Kerr.
Here.
LeBure.
Here.
Lowe.
Here.
Nystrom.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
Sharazai.
Here.
Sinks.
Here.
And Wolfram.
Here.
Great. You have a quorum with all accounted for, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. And will you please then move on to item number 3 and please read item 3 into the record.
Right. Item 3, approval of LRA minutes. LRA meeting minutes from April 28th, 2025. LRA meeting minutes from October 20th, 2025.
Okay, thank you. And this is the point that we would open up public comment for our meeting minutes. I do not have anyone signed up to speak for public comment this evening on this topic. Do you have anyone in the room that wishes to speak to public comment on our meeting minutes? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And with that, may I please have a motion?
Chairwoman Strom, I move for the approval of LRA meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions from commissioners? Seeing none, do we have any objection to the meeting minutes? All right, those stand approved. Will the clerk please read item number 4 into the record?
Item 4, RFQ selections for business improvement districts.
And for this next topic, I will bring forward, first we'll start off with Mr. Will Chan, who is our LRA Lakewood Reinvestment Authority Executive Director, to kick off our conversation tonight.
Great, thanks so much, Chairperson Strom. Happy New Year to everyone, and I'm excited to kick off our year strong with some great updates on two properties at 6051 West Alameda and 6203-6205 West Colfax Avenue. So as you know, the Lakewood Reinvestment Authority was created to remove blight and encourage private investment throughout the city to enhance community and vitality and quality of life. So in 2023, the LRA acquired two properties on Colfax and Alameda that had severe public safety and public health concerns. So when we acquired those properties, we moved forward with environmental remediation as well as demolition of those two properties to prepare for future development on the sites. We moved forward with a high and best use study on how we could possibly use those sites in developing an RFQ, solicited community feedback as well to inform that RFQ, and put that out in May 2005 for feedback and solicitors. The RFQ, again, took feedback from community and the corridor in this creation to create future alignment and future uses. And in December 2025, we had attracted a multiple of qualified firms, and 4 firms were shortlisted to move forward with interviews. And in December last year, we were able to select someone that was qualified and aligned with our experience, vision, and capacity with the city. We were encouraged by the proposal, which aligned closely with our community needs and felt were best aligned with the LRA vision moving forward. So without further ado, I'm just going to introduce Ryan Laber from Spire Development, who will share a little bit more details on the project.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Thank you, Will. And we also have Brad Dissner with Elevation Consulting, a local civil engineer, here to present as well. So, yeah, we can advance the slides. Okay, got it. So our goals when we presented to LRA staff for these two vacant urban infill properties were to transform the underutilized sites into an asset for the Belmar Community Hub and for the 50 West Art Line District. Our goal was to supply at least 48 units of new construction multifamily affordable housing units for seniors. Our goal is to market the units specifically to seniors that are Lakewood residents and deburden those Lakewood seniors should they have financial stress in their housing situation. We also, especially in this project, want to allow for seniors that live in Lakewood in a single-family home that maybe are not suited to that single-family home anymore to move out of that single-family home into this project and open up that housing stock for younger families who might be more suited to that space. We're very attuned to Lakewood's Proposition 123 commitment to increase affordable housing units by 475 units before the end of 2026. And our goal is to, in our presentation to the LRA, deliver this project to Lakewood as quickly as possible. So, brief introduction to our firms. I'm Vice President of Development with a company called Spire Development, and we're a top 50 affordable housing development company in the country. We're actually based out of Columbus, Ohio, and it's about a team of 13 people. I'm the only person that's not in Ohio. I live in Denver and I'm responsible for developing projects in Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. And we have been around for about 10 years, and in that span of time, we've developed about 48 projects, mostly in the Midwest and some out here in the Mountain West.
And a brief introduction of my firm. I'm Brad Disner. I'm a principal with Elevation Consulting Group. We're a Lakewood-based civil engineering firm. I'm a Lakewood resident. I shop at this King Soopers. And we've done business here in the Front Range for 30 years and a lot of experience in the city of Lakewood, and being a resident, have a lot of interest in this particular project, but just in development in Lakewood in general. So that's a little bit about us.
We're very happy to be working with Brad on this project. So these are just a few slides that show some of our completed projects in the Midwest primarily. These are all the same type of project, affordable housing for seniors, that we are proposing for at least the Alameda site. So to get into a quick overview of the specifics of how we plan to finance the project, we intend to use housing tax credits that we acquire from the Colorado Housing Finance Authority, CHAFA, to build the project. Specifically, we're going to pursue 9% LIHTC credits. And the program for the project would be, I'm speaking specifically to the Alameda site right now because that's a 0.85 acre site, whereas the Colfax property that Will mentioned is a little bit less than a half an acre. So the Alameda site, we'll get into the details a little bit more momentarily, but the Alameda site offers a little bit more potential. So the Alameda site, we're aiming for an age-restricted property for seniors 55 and up. The tax credits would come with a rent and income restriction for the residents that live in the property, and the annual income for a qualifying household of one person would be around $50,000 per year. And I've listed here in the slides some positions that are Jefferson County public positions that would qualify for that income test to qualify to live in the property. So a Head Start teacher, a librarian, a victim services counselor, animal control officer, court services case manager. Those are folks that would qualify to live in the project that we're proposing. For all of the properties that we develop, the tenants pay their own rent. It's not a Section 8 project-based proposal, but there is an income test. The whole philosophy of the tax credit program is to make sure that no resident or tenant pays more than 30% of their income on rent plus utilities. So the rent is actually on a sliding scale based on someone's income. And across the property overall, we would anticipate that one bedrooms in the property would rent for around $1,300 and two bedrooms would rent for around $1,500, and that includes a utility allowance. The map there in the slide shows different properties that we've looked at in a survey and that are mostly market rate properties that are comparable. And so those rents that I mentioned, $1,300 and $1,500, would be a value to the market of about 30 to 40% discount against a comparable unit. So in terms of amenities, we would plan on a very active environment for the tenants. So there would be a community room with a kitchen, a fitness room, an on-site leasing person, full-time staffed, resident services office, community garden, and an outdoor barbecue space. I'll show in a second some concepts for the properties. They're designed to both meet the current zoning code and then the proposed new zoning code. So, like we've mentioned, there's two properties. The images here just serve to show that we've evaluated a number of different options and worked with a local architect to do so. The Alameda site, one of the reasons we've thought that senior housing makes the most sense is because it's such a tight site. Seniors have lower parking requirements. They also generally have smaller unit sizes. So to maximize the potential of the site, we've thought around 48 units is probably a reasonable goal for the Alameda site. And these concepts here are between 4 and 5 stories. That kind of fits in on that corridor. There's a project called 5800 Apartments, which is owned and operated by Metro West Housing Solutions, and then also which is 7 stories, and then a 4-story condo project called Residencia Flores. The Colfax site is smaller and a little bit more difficult. There's actually challenges with Xcel Energy serving the site, so there's no opportunity to put in an elevator in the near future at Colfax. So we've thought that to serve a wide variety of residents, the Colfax site would not be age restricted to seniors. Without an elevator, it wouldn't make sense, but instead we would develop around 11 or 12 units of multifamily with all 3 bedrooms. So these units would be designed for people with children. The market rate rental housing community doesn't typically develop properties with large numbers of bedrooms in each unit. So, of course, down Colfax, there's a glut of market rate rental offerings, but we think this would be a unique offering for the market because of the large unit sizes. So those were sort of various images of concepts. These were our proposed solutions. The Alameda Commons site is 48 units, as shown here. And we've pretty much maxed out the yield on this site to get the most benefit for the community's investment here. Some more images. And then on the image on the left, you can see the 5800 Apartments and Residencia Flores projects. And then here's some imagery of the proposed solutions for the Colfax site. So it would be 11 or 12 units designed specifically for families with children, i.e. units with 3 bedrooms. In terms of sustainability, we know that this is a priority for the Lakewood community, so we plan to, if the project is able to move forward, encourage our residents to participate in the Sustainable Neighborhoods program, especially the local O'Kane Park group that exists. We'll also have the ability to rent or provide our community space and community garden to that group if they would so choose to meet there. And then there's a good number of different sustainability measures that we aim to pursue as well. In terms of local partners, obviously Spire is located out of Ohio or based out of Ohio. For the projects, we're going to be working with an architect called Studio Completiva that is based in Denver. They actually designed a project in the Belmar area, multifamily for seniors, called Cityscape at Belmar. So we were impressed with that project, and we're excited to leverage their local knowledge. Same thing with general contractors. Right now, Alliance Construction is working on a cost estimation exercise for us, but we've also interviewed other firms, including Pinkard and Lakewood. Property manager would be a local group. We've interviewed a number of different local property managers, and same thing with resident services. In terms of the services, we would provide things like health screenings and nutrition class and cooking class and just general kind of seasonal gathering programming. And that would probably be offered by a staff person that works about 20 hours a week at the property to provide those services. We've aimed through the proposal to really align with existing City of Lakewood plans. The Envision Lakewood 2040 plan really emphasizes the downtown Belmar, community hub along Alameda. And so we're hoping to enhance the corridor through the addition of this project on Alameda. Very similar thought process goes to the West Colfax site, which is also in the 40 West Artline District. So that 11 or 12 unit project for families would be designed according to the West Artline District plans. And of course, the project aligns with Lakewood's strategic housing plan and its Proposition 123 commitments. And that's the presentation. I'm excited for the discussion.
Thank you. And if you will unshare your slides, then we can see all our commissioners that are joining us virtually. And with that, do we have any questions? Commissioner Barraway.
Thank you. I'm just making sure I'm clear on the Alameda project. That's independent living for seniors then, not assisted living, completely
Our
independent.
request to speak
Correct.
isn't working. I'm sorry.
Also, I wanted to know if the two of you have read the comments from both the executive director of Alameda Connects as well as the executive director of the West Colfax Community Association, the West Colfax Business Improvement District that were provided on Lakewood Speaks, or if you've had a chance to talk to either Tom Quinn or Bill Marino.
I have not reviewed those yet, but I certainly will, and look forward to speaking with them. We did reach out to Go West Colfax, but it was many months ago, and about projects in general. So I would need to circle back there. But thank you for bringing that to my attention, Commissioner Barraway.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think they both would enjoy having the conversation with you to discuss your plans. And I think when you read their comments, you'll get a better idea of where they're coming from. But you did mention in your presentation that you have reviewed both of their plans. And I think that was also very important to them. Thank you.
Commissioner Sharazai and then Commissioner Lowe.
Yes, thank you. I have a question first for staff. Just wanted to understand, it sounds like there was 4 proposals that were submitted. This is what we're reviewing tonight. Were the other things submitted similar in scope or?
Some of them were not feasible based on what they were proposing, or there was an undue responsibility on the city for incentives or for pieces that were outside of our scope. And this one was the most aligned. We felt they had an understanding of Lakewood, that it was a detailed enough proposal of what was already in the comp plan, what residents were looking for. And so I think that's where we found alignment with the vision that they had set out.
Okay,
The best of the 4.
And then you mentioned adherence to the enhanced development menu, but you're actually exempt from that as affordable housing. So I'd love to better understand, how is this exciting and sustainable? Because we've seen some of our other affordable housing partners who seem a little bit more informed on some of the plans and various things that we've endeavored to do here in the city of Lakewood. So would love to understand what that would look like for you all.
Yeah, I think all of our projects will get certified in some way or another, whether it be LEED or National Green Building Standard or Enterprise Green Communities. Those are sort of the big 3 certification bodies. And so in our original conversations with the architects, we felt that National Green Building Standard probably makes the most sense for the context. I know that there's recycling of construction debris requirements in the enhanced development menu. And then I think our commitment to participate in the sustainable programming in the O'Kane neighborhood is another thing that we're excited about. But overall, the project will have, per zoning, 30% open space And we envision actually a lot of that being accomplished with a green roof that's accessible to the residents. And so obviously that's important from a stormwater and water quality perspective, and then just getting folks, that live there a opportunity to enjoy the outdoors that's easily accessible to them. I think those are probably the main points on sustainability.
So sorry if I missed this in the presentation, but is that consistent with some of your other projects in Middle America? Like, are they meeting these sort of sustainable endeavors, or would this be new space for you all?
Sort of both. This is a very urban infill site. So I think in terms of stewardship of land, this is a really tight project in terms of maximizing the space. And so, I would view that as a good sustainable feature. Land stewardship. I think the green roof concept is also a first for us. So we're definitely reaching further than we are in a lot of our projects. That being said, of the 48 projects that were mentioned, we have 7 with solar PV, which was very easy to do when the investment tax credits were, still active. And most of our projects receive some sort of like LEED Silver or National Green Building Standard Silver certification. So I think the answer is sort of both. It's common practice for us, but also this site or this project would be special in some ways.
Councilor Lowe, or Commissioner Lowe.
Thank you. First, would just echo what Commissioner Barroway said. Definitely agree that I would talk to the bids for both Colfax and Alameda. But Bill Marino and Tom Quinn are excellent resources. Speaking for Ward 3 in particular, I definitely would sit down with Tom Quinn. I think Alameda Connects and the bid that they're associated with will have it'll be an important conversation to have sooner rather than later on the Colfax or on the Alameda corridor. So thanks for doing that. Love the presentation, love the vision for this. Thank you for this. One question, you mentioned that this is done both under the old and the new zoning code. I'm just curious for our more general edification as we think about broader policy issues. If you didn't have any parking minimums for either of these properties, is there a chance or a good chance you would add more units, or would it actually look fairly the same with or without parking minimums?
If I may respond in kind.
Sure.
I wanted to mention during the presentation, and I slipped my mind, that one of our major points to the LRA staff was that we were very open, willing to take suggestions on community groups to engage with. We will look to the Ward 2 council members for advice there, and also the 2 bids that are applicable. So thanks for that. This is an MGU zoning district, so the main difference is parking. Right now with 48 units, I think we're required to have 51 parking spaces, assuming that we get a 20% reduction from director discretion. And that's probably overparked. We met today with Metro West Housing Solutions, and they said they took a survey of their senior properties, and the typical number of spaces that are occupied versus the units. So that ratio is about half to 0.8, as where the zoning code in this case is pointing us to a little bit, providing more than 1 space per each unit. So if we took away that parking requirement, we would certainly add units. Maybe it's optimally like a 60-unit project without the parking requirement instead of 50 or 48.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so without parking minimums, there could be more affordable, dedicated, deed-restricted Prop 123 qualifying units.
I would agree with that, yes.
Okay. Under the new code, of course, that we passed, if I'm not mistaken, there are no parking minimums for dedicated affordable housing projects. So under the new code, there would be the ability to build. Would there be the ability to add more units, or is that a possibility?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I'll say this too, you know, even as affordable housing developers, we would still feel the need to provide some parking. Just because the code would permit zero parking, we would provide what we think is necessary and what the investment community would want to see. But it would certainly yield more units on the site.
You would meet market demand for parking without the government telling you to provide more parking than what was necessary according to the market, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. One last question on that theme. If there weren't open space, are you doing a fee in lieu for this, or are you doing a land dedication for this project in terms of meeting the open space requirements, or has that been worked out?
I know that there are rules related to parkland dedication, but when I was speaking to open space, I meant just like on our site. But affordable, 100% affordable is exempt from the parkland dedication.
Right. Okay, good. Okay, thank you very much. That's very helpful.
Commissioner Furman and then Commissioner Wolfram.
My apologies for not being there tonight. You can tell by my voice, I'm a little under the weather. I did want to ask, and sorry if I missed this during your presentation, but you talked about issues, I believe, at the Colfax site regarding Excel connection. Can you elaborate what those issues are with the Excel connection?
It's primarily, I'm not an electrical engineer, but in my layman's world, there are two types of power connections that you can get. There's single phase and then 3-phase power. And in the case of Colfax, we understand 3-phase power isn't readily available nearby. Even actually at the Alameda site, there is the need to extend power. So in order to, sorry, I'm going to jump around a little bit. In order to have elevators, you really need 3-phase power. And so at the Alameda site, we would need to extend new wires to the site, and there's a variety of ways that Excel has said they could do this, routes that can serve the elevator at that site. But there will still be an aid to construction cost and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get that to happen. The good news is that benefits the whole corridor when that 3-phase power is extended. In the Colfax site, our understanding from Excel is that the 3-phase power is just further away, so it's not practical to extend it to the site.
Excellent, thank you. That was it.
Commissioner Wolfram.
Hi, I think it's a great project too. I was just wondering how you came upon the $50,000 income, but it looks like what it is that the 70% of median income? Is that how you come upon that?
It's very similar. It's closer to 50% of AMI, of area median income, is the 50,000 metric. I'll elaborate really briefly. The income test to qualify to live at these properties is just that. It's an income test, and it's not an asset test. So, some seniors may have savings that they don't want to, have examined during the process to qualify to live in one of these properties, and that's fine. It's really based on income that they're drawing each year. So yeah, the 50,000 is around the 50% AMI for a one-person household.
Okay, and then long term, do residents need to continue to prove their income, or is that? Do they need to continue to prove their income, and what does that look like?
Yes, and I really don't want to misspeak because I'm not a compliance expert, but there are recertifications that happen every so often with the tenants, and I can't speak to the details on what the recertifications look like, but I could get that information for you after the presentation. but I just don't want to misspeak to it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Commissioner Nystrom and then Commissioner Sinks.
Thank you. And Commissioner Barroway, I did not hear your first question. I was wondering if you could add that again or ask that again. There was conversation going on, so I didn't hear what that question was. But can you just clarify for me, on these two buildings, how many stories are we talking about?
So what we've envisioned on Alameda is 4 stories in the front along the roadway, stepping to 5 stories in the back, and that would yield 48 units.
Okay.
On Colfax, the concepts that you saw here were 3 stories.
Okay. And would the senior units be on the first floor?
They would be throughout the building. So the building would be 100% age restricted to seniors.
But you won't have an elevator?
Sorry, the Alameda site will have 2 elevators.
Okay.
But the Colfax site is the one with the power issue, so
Okay.
there's no elevators, no ability to get 3-phase power and hook up an elevator, so that project would just be stairs, and that's the site for families.
Okay. And you had referenced solar, like you've done solar projects before. Is this going to be one of those projects?
In all likelihood, probably not. Typically, when we do solar, it is in like a large parking area that is not receiving shade from a building. There's with different mechanical equipment and parapets along the roof edges, there's a lot of shading that happens on the rooftops. So there's actually a pretty small yield that you can get in terms of like solar PV coverage on a rooftop. So then we look to the site and the parking spaces, and here there's not a great deal of leftover space that's not shaded.
Okay, but are you planning on installing electric appliances, as in heat pumps and electric stoves and things of that nature?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it would be all electric. I think all of our projects have heat pumps. I don't know precisely the mechanical equipment that we'd select here, but we can commit to all electric.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Sinks.
Thank you. This question might be more for staff. I wonder if you could talk about the timeline moving forward, like how quickly groundbreaking might be, and then maybe turn it back over, how the build time, et cetera.
The only thing that we can speak to at this point is just for the financing piece of it. So the CHAFA deadline is very ambitious, and so we need to explore our options with that. If we can't submit the CHAFA application to the deadline, we will continue to work with Spire on what other options are to move forward, but it may be delayed if the CHAFA application doesn't get approved.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Barroway.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. Did you?
Commissioner Nystrom, I believe my first question that I asked the gentleman is whether or not they'd read the Lakewood Speaks comments from Tom Quinn and Bill Marino. That sounds familiar to anybody that might have heard those first few questions. And then I just have a follow-up on the Colfax location. So with ADA, is that allowed to be able to build a 3-story building without an elevator? Just curious.
Yes, Commissioner Barroway. So the ADA actually covers like public area, so it's the entire site tying into the sidewalks, making sure there's ADA ramps at the driveways, and making sure any community space, like a community center in that building, would be accessible fully. The units themselves are sort of outside of ADA. There's other federal guidelines that cover accessibility in units, and the minimum guideline is always 5%, rounded up to the nearest whole number, be fully accessible with like bars in the bathrooms and things like this, low threshold tubs, but it's customary in the industry to build units that are walk-up units.
Thank you. That brings up another question then on back to Alameda. It's difficult moving back and forth. Alameda with the senior citizens, which sadly I fall in that category. Are some of the units going to be wheelchair accessible or have the ability for folks to get a wheelchair through the doorway? Like you said, the low thresholds, the senior roll-in showers and that kind of thing.
Yes. So that would be designed. Not every unit would have the low threshold tubs in the bars, because actually they're kind of unattractive to people that don't need them. But I think it's probably 5% of the units would have that, and that actually tracks with the demand for those units too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I could respond, if permitted, to Commissioner Sinks on the timeline item that Will alluded to. This project and the size of it really aligns with CHAFA funding that's available once a year. There's a couple different tax credit programs, but a project of this size is fit for the 9% program, very squarely in that box. Any other program wouldn't be very effective. And so their deadline is February 2nd. And so we've communicated to staff, our intention's always been to submit a qualifying application by the 2nd of February, and then it's very competitive. But sites that have support from the local government, that goes a really long way. And then there's one shot per year to go after that funding. The timeline after an application for funding looks something like 6 months for CHAFA deliberation, and then 6 to 8 months of design development and going through city entitlement processes, and then maybe a 15-month construction schedule after that.
Commissioner Black and then Commissioner Ryan.
My questions were answered, so thank you.
Commissioner Ryan.
I apologize. I may be missing it from the presentation. Other than the CHAFA, is there anything you're planning on asking the city of Lakewood for from a financial perspective, or from the LRA as a body as a whole? I apologize. I just didn't see that in the presentation.
Thanks for the good question. I think the answer is yes. And, we've been in conversation with staff about what that might be able to look like. So those conversations are completed, but, we understand that, a nominal fee for the land could be an option. And honestly, that's probably something we would ask for to make the project work from a financial perspective. An alternative could be support with things like the Excel energy extension that's required, or sewer or water fees, which can be considerable.
Yeah, and for staff, I would have the same question. I know things will be coming to us later, but as of now, the thought is from this body, at least from a financial perspective, it would be the use of the land or a gift of the land. Is that correct? And that's pretty much it? Or is there more that's contemplated?
Yes, we're negotiating the public sales agreement right now. So everything is on the table, from the land dedication to some fee in lieu. There's a lot of options that we're investigating to see what makes the most sense.
Okay, and all of that's contingent upon getting the CHAFA funding. And in other words, if we're not going to give the land to the developers absent CHAFA approval.
I wouldn't say. We would still move forward with those agreements regardless of CHAFA.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
That was the last question that I have. Before we close it out, commissioners, any additional questions? Well, thank you both for your interest in our 2 plots of land and for your desire to help us meet a need for affordable housing for our community. It was great to learn about the project tonight, and thank you both for coming.
And just to end, I think we will be coming back after the February deadline to, again, bring more updates to the board as well. So when the PSA is finalized, development agreements, and so we will keep you posted as the time comes for next steps.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chan. And at this point, seeing no further business, we'll go ahead and adjourn the LRA meeting at 6:49 p.m.